Monsieur Burin, Mr. Möller, Ambassador Sagor, laureates, and especially Mrs. Sheila Watt-Cloutier and Mr. Tony de Brum. First off, I would like to thank the Right Livelihood Award Foundation for this wonderful event and for giving me the opportunity to speak here today. Monika Griefahn and Ole von Uexküll, your foundation is sending a powerful message at a crucial time. In Paris, representatives from 195 countries are discussing a new climate agreement. This week, you are honoring two people who have seen firsthand what is at stake. Ladies and gentlemen, at times it seems as though we are helpless in the face of history, as if we were too weak to redirect the course of history and as if the future offered little hope. Mrs. Watt-Cloutier, you come from northern Canada, which is supposedly covered in snow and ice all year round. I read in a newspaper article that the Ayutthaya, I don't know the name very well, the Ayutthaya National Park is located there. The park's name means the land that never melts. However, these days the permafrost melts in the summer. The Arctic is an early warning system for our planet. Today, temperatures there are already rising 2 times faster than the global average. In your book, The Right to be Cold, you described how the living conditions of your people, the Inuit, are radically changing. Many Inuit people are hunters. Hunting is a fundamental part of their culture. Today, the animal world is already changing. Many hunting grounds that have existed for centuries have been thrown into uncertainty because of the melting ice. The Inuit did not cause climate change, but they are among the first suffering its consequences. Sheila Watt-Cloutier has raised her voice, the voice of a strong woman, a woman who tirelessly travels the world to draw attention to the fact that she is losing her home. Mrs. Watt-Cloutier, it is an honor for me to meet you today. Perhaps, Tony, you are also familiar with feelings of hopelessness. You live in a country which many Europeans would first have to search for on the map, a country struggling under the weight of global developments, a country that has never gone to war or have been threatened with it. Nevertheless, your country has been fighting for its existence for many decades now. You were only a few months old when, in 1946, the residents of Bikini Atoll, part of your country, were resettled. They were told it was for the good of mankind. Today, we know that the use of nuclear power, be it for peaceful or military purposes, has done mankind more harm than good. The people of the small atoll were only meant to be relocated for a few years. Now we know that Bikini will remain uninhabitable for a long time to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony de Brum was just 9 years old when the United States detonated Castle Bravo, an atomic bomb 1,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped in Hiroshima. The crater it left behind can still be seen from space today. The nuclear fallout rained down over inhabited islands, and Tony was able to see the massive explosion from 200 miles away. You describe this, Tony, as a memory that can never be erased. Tony de Bruym has fought for compensation and for his country's independence. And what more, he has taken on the nuclear powers of this world, not just on behalf of the people of the Marshall Islands, but on behalf of us all. The fear of a nuclear war between the superpowers may not be as great today as it once was. That being said, the number of atomic bombs in the world continues to increase rather than decline. Tony traveled to The Hague, to the International Court of Justice, and filed a lawsuit against the 9 nuclear powers. Not because they possess nuclear weapons, but rather because they are failing to fulfill their joint commitment to take steps towards creating a nuclear-free world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a cruel fate that 60 years after Casa Bravo, the Marshall Islands once again find themselves fighting for their existence. The world is looking head-on at a catastrophe in slow motion. Climate change could radically alter the face of our planet. The Marshall Islands feel the impacts of climate change more strongly than most other places on Earth, just like the Inuit in northern Canada. The Marshall Islands are acutely threatened by a climate change that is not a freak of nature, but man-made. If we cannot get a grip on climate change soon, the people of the Marshall Islands will lose their homes forever. This much we know today. Tony de Bruym is also fighting a battle against time and against the inertia of world politics. He brought other Pacific Island states together and drew up the pioneering Majuro Declaration, in which the participating countries commit themselves to ambitious climate action. The declaration also calls on all countries of the world to take action. Ladies and gentlemen, I still remember my first encounter with Tony de Bruym in June of last year in Bonn. At the time, I had not been Environment Minister very long, and my background was primarily in the area of finance. I must admit that I first had to find my feet in this new role. I met several ministers from large, rich, and powerful countries, and I had talks on the environment and climate action for hours on end. My knowledge expanded rapidly, and I thought to myself, now I've got the hang of it. And then I met Tony, a friendly foreign minister from one of the smallest countries of the world. He was just another appointment in another long day. But during my talk with him, I was made aware of the imminent tragedy before us, and I realized the responsibility I hold as Environment Minister of a major industrialized country. I will never forget that conversation. How is it that a person can still believe in a better world when his own home is being brought to the verge of destruction? You never lost your faith, Tony. You have shown that fighting for a better world has not been in vain. You have shown this with a courage and persistence that has deeply impressed me. I am privileged to call you my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, this message telling us of the great threat our planet is facing comes from a small nation in the middle of the Pacific, from a brave foreign minister, and from a dedicated woman from the edge of the polar circle. What does this say about the world we live in? It is infuriating that the people who suffer most from the impacts of climate change are not the ones who caused it. But their message gives us hope. It is not too late. We can take action. Tony de Bruym and Sheila Watt-Cloutier have raised their voices so loudly that more and more people are listening to what they have to say. We should all be supporting their call for justice, even though often change is only brought about gradually. The world cannot ignore their call. As a representative of a major industrialized country, I will also add, the time has come for answers. In the fight against climate change, we are fighting for the rights of all people. Ladies and gentlemen, my country is working to ensure that the international community, once and for all, comes up with a decisive answer to climate change. At this very time, key decisions are being made on future climate action worldwide, and I hope these decisions will be historic ones. Over the last year, we have seen many steps backwards, detours and dead ends. The international community now has a chance to send a clear message to all the people of this world. Yes, we are taking action. Yes, we believe that this world can be a fair place. Yes, we accept our responsibility. Responsibility to the Inuit, responsibility to the people of the Marshall Islands, to future generations on this earth, and our responsibility to do what is right. Thank you very much.